Conditions apply. The time by Sagicor Bank is...
It is now 7 o'clock right here on the family station, Love 101. And do stand by now for the Morning Watch.
Listeners to Love 101 FM are advised that the views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Love 101 FM.
Hello and welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org. And if you're overseas and on the move, U.S. listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you're in the UK, 0330-332-6541. Or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube Live. In the first watch today, food vendors and the concerns about food handlers' permits. In the second watch, when tag devices become tracking devices. For our social media question, we ask, how important is it to you that food vendors have food handlers' permits? Please share your responses on our Love 101 FM Facebook page and YouTube channel, and also on WhatsApp, 876-997-3125, using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your responses later on in the program, but before all of that, here's I quote.
I code for this morning. It's much easier to sell an answer than a question. Much more comforting to sit in delusion than reality. This one from Dr. Rob Long. Good morning.
Yeah, that's a long one. Good morning, Rasheen.
Yes, indeed. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Looking forward to the discussions this morning as we look on food vendors, food handlers permit, and then this tag thing that people are tracking each other. Have you ever been tracked knowingly?
No, I don't think I have that. Thank God for I'm not in that situation.
You're not in that situation.
But I believe Google, they have a way of, whenever you go to anywhere, they ask you, how did you like at Love 101? Because I work at Love 101, they ask me, how was it at Love 101? Because the phone tagged me at Love 101. So
here we go. We're going to go into all of those issues this morning, Rashid. Stay tuned, eh?
All right, bless you.
All right, the first watch will be back after this break.
Love 101, the family station, is inviting mothers and daughters to participate in the Mother's Day Mother-Daughter Dress-Alike competition. Do that thing! Mothers and daughters are invited to take a photo dressed alike and send it in to 876-224-5414. The photographs will be posted on our Instagram page. Then listen on Mother's Day for a vibrant discussion on radio with Sarah Ann inside Sunday Showcase, where the winner of the Mother's Day Mother-Daughter Dress-Alike competition will be announced. It's the Love 101 FM's Mother's Day Mother-Daughter Dress-Alike competition. Hey daughters, plan that picture-taking experience with your mom. Strike a pose, there's nothing to it, and send your picture to 876-224-5414. Then listen on Mother's Day for a beautiful experience. It's all on the family station, Love 101.
Mama, your love gives me meaning and purpose.
Sometimes all we need is a listening ear. The listening ear, the counseling, the logical reasoning, and spiritual guidance are what appeal to us. That's why I'm here. I'm Dr. Joan Pinkney, the counselor, your counselor on Love 101 FM, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 10 to 11 p.m. You know you can call on me. I will listen and more. So let's talk about what's bothering you. Anything. Tune in, listen, call in, text or voice message. I'm Dr. Joan Pinkney, counseling psychologist, ready with a listening ear. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 10 to 11 p.m. Right here on the family station, Love 101 FM.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Now, believe it or not, if you live or move around the parish of St. James, you may be buying and eating from one of its more than 570 food vendors who do not have a food handler's permit. According to a recent Gleaner article, this was revealed by St. James Acting Chief Public Health Inspector Sharika Lewis as she reported at a recently held St. James Municipal Corporation meeting. So, what are the issues and implications arising from such realities? To discuss these and other related matters, we have online Mr. Richard Vernon, Councillor, Acting Mayor of Montego Bay, and Ms. Sharika Lewis, St. James Acting Chief Public Health Inspector. Good morning to you both.
Good morning, Dr. Toussaint, and let me say good morning to Ms. Lewis and our listeners. How are you?
Good
I'm well.
morning.
All right.
Good morning, Dr. Toussaint. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, Mr. Vernon. I'm blessed.
Yeah.
Thank you. How are you?
Great. How is the weather in St. James?
It's fair.
It's
Sunny.
fair. Okay. Sunny. All right. Good. All right. Let me begin with you, Miss Lewis. According to an April 18 Gleaner article, only 5% of St. James food vendors have permits. Now, assuming that report is accurate, tell us specifically what type of food vendors we're talking about, and how was that percentage ascertained?
All right. So these food vendors are vendors that ply their trade, their food trade, moving from place to place. Some of these vendors are vendors who operate at schools. Some of these vendors are vendors who operate stalls along the roadways in St. James.
Mm-hmm.
A part of our operational activity at the St. James Health Department is to ensure that anywhere that persons sell food to the public, that these places obtain minimum acceptable public health standards according to the Public Health Food Handling Regulations of 1998, amended 2000. The vendors are somewhat different from those who work within food handling establishments because they don't have a fixed location. Some of them may not have a fixed location, and they don't have a building. So whilst persons who work in, for example, supermarkets and restaurants, other food shops, we are able to manage them because a part of their licensing is that all persons who work within the establishment should have a food handler's permit. The vendors are different to really manage. So for the vendors, we say, okay, minimum acceptable standard is for you to have a valid food handler's permit. Now, we conduct routine inspections of all the places in St. James to include those persons who sell on the streets. So during our food drives, our food compliance drives, we target these vendors. We try to ascertain their names and their locations and the type of food that they sell to the public. So the figure of the 600 food vendors came from as a result of our survey that we have conducted throughout the years. We
Right,
have even gone up as far as 1,100 food vendors at some point.
Yeah, before I bring in Councillor Vernon, these vendors include chicken vendors, jerk chicken vendors, peanut vendors, and
Yes,
all of that.
soup, corn, pan chicken persons. Yes, all of those persons are included. And there's a new trend in St. James now where you have patty vendors, persons who purchase patties from the established
And they sell it on the roadside?
And they sell it on the roadside, right?
Okay, interesting. Councillor Vernon?
Yes, Doc.
Yes. As acting mayor of Montego Bay, how has such a report impacted you and your colleagues within the council?
Well, first and foremost, we are involved in this conversation because we are the local board of health. You know what that is, right?
Yeah, man.
All right.
But tell spin it for those who may not know.
All right. So for our listeners, the local board of health is incorporated under the Public Health Act of 1988, and as Sharika said, revised in 2000. It gives us a lot of responsibilities to include, I'll just tell you quickly, to carry out all activities which appear to us to be requisite, advantageous, or convenient in the interest of public health. And it also gives us the right to ensure that the medical examination and certification of persons who are engaged in food or milk trade, or in the manufacture of aerated water and ice, and in the slaughter of animal or poultry for human consumption. So we have a responsibility to ensure that anything that is dressed, prepared for public consumption, is at the public health standard. And also, you can go ahead and prepare food at your house, serve it to your friends and families. But once you step out into the public space and start serving food to the public and to our consumers in the parish, the municipality, then we become a part of your business. And therefore, we are going to ask you to ensure that you uphold the public health standards. So looking at or listening to the report whilst we were at the meeting, and I should say that meeting was when the local board of health would have been convened under the general meeting of council. And the report says 5%. I responded that is glaring, and it is indeed glaring, because when you think about food safety, you're thinking about all the possible things that you can catch from or contract from foodborne diseases. And we're so much into that time when we're hearing about novel this and novel that. What else we're going to hear about food now? We don't want to be in that category, so we have to be proactive. We have to preempt anything that might develop, and one of that measure that we have to put in place in terms of preempting it is to ensure that our handlers of food are in compliance and well trained and know how to prepare food and handle food when they are dealing with public consumption.
Yeah, Councillor Vernon, is this the first time you're getting a report like this, or any report in regards to vending in St. James?
Any report in regards to vending, not vending, because vending, we have different types of vendors. We have itinerant vendors and all those types of vendors. But in terms of the food, this is the first time I've asked a question and it was raised. I will say that one of the good things about raising something like this, even though we are not at that standard that we are supposed to be, is the fact that we can face reality, and not just face reality, but know to come together and do something about it. And that is where we are. So that is the real situation. What are we going to do about it? So 5% of our vendors, food vendors, they have no formal training or certification in food management or preparation. Based on our numbers, based on our records, what are we going to do about it? And that is where we want to bring that conversation.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that shortly. Well, we're going to break, but Miss Lewis, I might have to interrupt you, but for the record, what are the basic requirements and what is the process involved in acquiring a food handler's permit? Okay, hold that thought, Miss Lewis. We are up on a break. We'll be right back.
With only a few clicks. Get great returns on your time when you sign up for a JN Fund Manager's investments account online. Visit www.jnfunds.com and follow our easy sign-up steps. No need to visit a JN Fund Manager's location. Do it all from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. It's completely online. Get it done anywhere, anytime, in quick time. Open an investment account online today. JN Fund Managers, your goals realized.
You're invited to listen to Dollars and Cents every Thursday at 8:16 a.m. We'll give you tips on how to make your money count, how to save, and how to grow your worth. It's all inside Dollars and Cents, brought to you by BPM Financial Limited, taking you higher. That's Dollars and Cents every Thursday at 8:16 a.m. on the family station, Love 101.
I'm advice I don't know all the shot and tally. I have a message to everyone. Get vaccinated. Hey, tourism the main driver of the local economy. It provides us with job, save the country. So everybody in the industry, get the job and come follow me. It don't hurt to the nerd. Link the nurse cause the vaccine work. Get vaccinated. Yeah. This is a message from the Ministry of Tourism. Get vaccinated. Just get vaccinated. You're deaf?
Trying to plan a family getaway? Fix it. Always dreamed of taking a cruise? Fix it. Kitchen needs upgrading? Fix it. Fixing your financial future is easy with a Sagicor Bank Extended Term Certificate of Deposit account. Open your account today. Save for 18, 24, 30 months or up to 3 years and get guaranteed interest paid monthly or at maturity. Fix your financial future with a Sagicor Bank Extended Term Certificate of Deposit account. Sagicor Bank, in your corner, supporting you. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. And in this, the first watch, we are discussing the whole matter of food vendors as well as concerns about food handlers' permits. And we have online Mr. Richard Vernon, Councillor Richard Vernon, Acting Mayor of Montego Bay, and Ms. Sharika Lewis, Acting Chief Public Health Inspector of St. James. Ms. Lewis, before the break, I was asking you about the basic requirements and the process involved in acquiring a food handler's permit.
Yes. So the process is 2 passport size photographs signed by a justice of the peace, a school principal, or a superintendent of police. Then an application is made at any local parish health department. Persons are given an appointment date, and then they are required to go through a training session where at the end they will get a test. Upon them being successful, they will be issued a food handler's permit by the medical officer of health for each parish.
So that test involves what? What kind of test is
So that's a written test. That's a written test
and the
where they are given a
basically
lecture first, and then they are given a written test. I know that some persons shy away from the test because of, they may think that they're not literate enough. But we have given oral tests before where we will read the questions for persons and they answer accordingly.
So are the questions primarily about food preparation and all of those things?
Yes. So basic microbiology to include how does microorganisms, bacteria, viruses affect food, what temperature should food be kept, how pests, rats, cockroaches, flies, etc. affect food, how to handle garbage, etc. So those are just the basic training modules that they will be given.
And the peanut vendor is expected, for example, to be a part of this process.
Yes, all the vendors are encouraged to be a part, to have at least that. Because what happened is that when it comes down to food safety is very critical. And we don't want persons to shy away from getting the food handler's permit. And that's one of the challenge that we're having at the St. James Health Department, is that when we target a particular vendor, say, for example, one of those that move from place to place, we say to them, okay, get your food handler's permit. It is almost not always that persons do not come to the food handler's training. We can't even locate these persons after a while. So food vending is somewhat a here today, gone tomorrow kind of scenario. Whilst we have the food establishments at the supermarkets and the restaurants where they are fixed, right? They're attached to real property, then we are able to issue these persons with a health license, and they are required that all the persons that work within their establishment have a valid food handler's permit.
Councillor Vernon, in your opening comments, you're talking about fixing it, dealing with the issue, addressing the issues. What is being done from your end?
All right. So the main thing, as Ms. Lewis would have said just now, is to ensure they have a food handler's permit. But we now want to take it a little bit further, because we want to ensure that we align ourselves locally with the Sustainable Development Goals, especially where food safety is concerned. I believe we have a number of goals that speak to food safety, and particularly goal number 3 that deals with sanitation. But we also have our national development goals that we are trying to achieve to reach, when we talk about Vision 2030 and all of that. Locally, we have to ensure that we put the necessary things in place to drive us collectively as a country towards achieving this vision. And we can't speak of it and not put things in place. And we can't wait on central government to put things in place to drive local development, in this case, sanitation. Now, what we are looking at, and I've had the discussion, brief discussion with Ms. Lewis so far, we are looking at a program where to meet very, very shortly to look at all the details and to come up with a program, a food safety program. That food safety program will require that these operators, they are compliant with the food safety standards, but they are also compliant with the requirements under the National Solid Waste Management Act to ensure that they know how to dispose of their garbage as well. And they have places to dispose of their garbage, or can identify places to dispose of their garbage, because that is also part of the sanitation process. Now, we intend to give them IDs, and I would want to take it, when I say take it a bit further, to a level where the IDs will now display probably QPR codes. So you, as a consumer, if you so wish, you could ask the vendor to show the ID, and you probably can scan it, and it will take you to a page that says that the vendor is compliant. They have compliance with NSWMA, and they're compliant with the St. James Health Services. So you know that you feel safer that you're purchasing from somebody who is practicing or certified rather to carry out their standards. Now, we can't always monitor, and as Ms. Lewis has said, sometimes you don't know where they go afterwards, but we can't always monitor them. But the least we can do as a government is to ensure that they are certified, to ensure that our persons out there selling to the public are compliant, and that our records will show that we have an improvement in the number of persons who are certified So they would have been exposed to training. They would know what to do, and then they should do it. But we can't hold them to do it. But if we, you know what will transpire, Miss Lewis will tell you, should they step out of the standard operation and they are caught.
Time frame, Councillor Vernon.
We want to roll this out by May. By the end of May, we should have this program rolling out.
And well, if persons breach this, if they don't comply, they don't become a part of this program, what happens to them? They continue selling on the road.
I believe Ms. Lewis has the power to confiscate goods if they are not at a particular standard, or if persons are not operating at a particular standard. She would be in a better position to tell you that part.
Ms. Lewis?
Yes, so under the Public Health Food Handling Regulations of 1998-2000, we can carry out enforcement actions in terms of prosecution. So the medical officer of health has that authority to prosecute persons, take them before the court, and once they are convicted on the liable summary conviction, they are required to pay a fine of up to $1 million or 12 months in prison.
How much?
Say
that again, Miss.
Up to $1 million or 12 months in prison.
Oh, for not having the food handler's permit?
Yes.
So has anybody been brought to books for that?
Yes, indeed. Right now we have persons before the court for fraudulent permits and for persons who have breached the public health food handling regulations. The police also has the power to enforce that regulation as well. And based on previous interactions, they have brought persons to court for not having a food handler's permit. At one point, I believe that someone was charged $6,000.
No, but Miss Lewis,
that's 10 food handler's permits.
Miss Lewis, if the Gleaner report is accurate based on the reporting what you said, only 5% of St. James food handlers, food vendors have permits. What about the other 95%? What has happened to these people?
These persons are hard to train, or to trace, sorry. So what we are trying to do, and this is an ongoing process for the health department, is periodical drives where we go from streets to streets and conduct inspections of these persons and ensure that they come up with the food handler's permit. So this report, 95% persons are not in compliance. What we are going to do, as Councillor Vernon said, is to move a step further. Prosecution is our last resort, because in the interest of public health, in the interest of economical development, we don't want to stop a person, or say food. So we want persons to comply, so that the last resort for us will be taking them before the court.
Councillor Vernon, I think you'd have the last word. But how do you respond to those who say, boy, time's hard, you know, and people are trying to eat a food, no pun intended, so they sell a food. Why are you going to pressure these people to talk about food handlers, permit, the test, get all kind of identification? Why don't you slow them to sell them things?
I believe that these persons should be aware, and they should know the importance of a healthy society. They should appreciate the importance of a healthy society. And it can't be that you're out there selling food. I mean, somebody came to me the other day and said, big man, you know, say, me buy something up a road up there, and I catch a bug. I caught a bug. And I mean, nobody's responsible. And I'm saying that, no, you know, listen, the question needs to be asked. How many of our persons out there selling food are compliant, right? And there you have it, 5%. And what do we say to our people? What do we say to the people that we are responsible for and accountable to? Should we wait until there's an outbreak then we say that we should have known better? Do we say that we are going to sit here and wait until, the international standard asks us to do something at the local level? We can't wait on that. We have a city to run. We have a standard to maintain, and we have goals to meet. So we have to put the necessary things in place, and it can't be business as usual. And we have a culture that, says that wait until you reach your doorstep before you jump.
Well,
and we don't want it to reach our doorstep.
Yeah, well said. We have to leave it there, Councillor Vernon and Miss Lewis. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. Wish you all the best in the program that you are embarking on. Have a productive day.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Listeners, the Morning Watch will return in just a moment.
Apply today for DBJ Recovery Line of Credit or Go Digital Loan to help you find a way. The time by J&B Bank Small Business Loans. It is now 7:30 right here on the family station Love 101. We'll be right back after these messages.
This one is for my mommy.
Calling all boys. Whether or not you know it, you know how you feel about your mom. Now, put pen to paper, for it has begun. Yes, folks, write a short, sweet, and spicy poem that's to the point but filled with heart, saying just how much you love and appreciate mom. No less than 4 lines and no more than 8 lines. And then listen on Friday, May 6th, during a live with Sarah and the Chirpy One, and call in and share when you hear a rhyme and time for this mom of mine. Sweet. And it's all here on the family station, Love 101.
I feel your love, mommy.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life-changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
Bashko time. All the things that you need for your home with prices so low, you will never need a loan at Bashko. Spend it at Bashko. Appliances, house with furniture and rugs, inside linens and glass and mugs at Bashko. You check at Bashko. Where you the north, also in the east and the west, Bashko. Them all over, they must be the best at Bashko. At Bashko. Where you check at Bashko. At Bashko. Giving you more.
From generation to generation, Jamaicans have depended on J&B Bank to make the pride and joy of providing a safe place for their families possible. Now, with no processing fees and no down payment mortgage options, you can open the door to your own sweet home, a legacy to hand to your next generation. Visit jnbank.com to get pre-approved today. J&B Bank will help you find a way.
Phoenix Health and Vision Center now has 2 locations. St. Anne's Bay, 65 Main Street beside the health center. And now Shop 30 Champion Plaza, Falma, Trelawney. You heard me right. Shop 30 Champion Plaza, Falma, Trelawney. The only full-service eye care center for all your designer frames and designer glasses. Plus, complete eye care. Book all your appointments now in St. Anne's Bay. Call 876-972-2388. 876-589-8327. For Falmouth and its environs, call this number, 876-533-0540. Looking forward to seeing you at both locations. Phoenix Health and Vision Center. Now at Champion Plaza, Falmouth,
Trelawney. Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's look at the newspapers to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and doing. In the Gleaner, St. Thomas in mourning over London bloodbath. And then Fritz Pinnock resigns from CMU. We also see in the Gleaner that MPs slammed for subpar take-up of elderly welfare. In the Observer, PEP panic. Principals worried how students will perform, hoping for good results. We wish them all the best as they take on this major challenge. And then Hannah urges Food and Energy Crisis Task Force. And finally, heat on Dali, former MP found in breach of Integrity Commission Act. These are some of the major stories in our newspapers. Coming up next, we'll read some of the feedback from our social media question. How important is it to you that food vendors have food handlers permits? How important is it to you that food vendors have food handlers permits? Please leave a comment on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, Love 101 FM Jamaica, or WhatsApp 876-997-3125. Soon come back.
He knows my name.
Here is your opportunity to connect with someone who will listen, pray, and give guidance. It's the telephone counseling ministry of the Edgewater Baptist Church. Please call 876-220-6474. Weekdays between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. and Sundays between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Please talk to someone if you're finding it particularly challenging to cope during this period of global crisis. Someone is waiting for your call. Please reach out today. 876-220-6474. It's the telephone counseling ministry of the Edgewater Baptist Church.
This is a reminder that somebody cares. Endorsed by Love 101.
He knows my name.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's join Roshane for a look at how our Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp friends answer today's question. How important is it to you that food vendors have food handlers permits?
All right, so I have a few to get through this morning. So Marcia from Watson is saying nothing is wrong with having food handlers permit, but the process and cost seems to have another motive. And she stated money making. Let me take this one from my friend Phyllis.
Food anglers, good morning. Food anglers permit is very important. It's not about just holding the permit, it's about going to the health place and you have a little test. You have to pass that little test. They tell you how to wipe down your counter, how you must carry yourself, how you must clean up your area. You by yourself not gonna know that. So food anglers permit is very, very, very important.
All right, so this one is a little bit graphic, but she said, I don't want nothing from road because I'm afraid of leptospirosis and loose bowels. Some of these people have sore foot, dirty fingernails, and dirty, and get permits, of course. So she's pretty much fearful of her life and her health. Not gonna call her the name of this listener, but let me take another voice note.
Good morning, Morning Watch. They're talking about food anglers permit. They need to shake up themselves. The thing is now I pay to renew my food anglers and now I cannot get to do the test. They take my money all long now and I now can't get to do the test.
Good morning, Dr. Toussaint. Good morning, Brother Rasheen. This is a very, very serious matter. Not only for St. James, we can assume that probably it happens throughout the island. Yes, and one of the problems is that not only in the factor of the not having the food handlers permit, but sometimes they do not have any access to toilet facilities, and they do what they're doing nearby and come back and sell the food. Okay, so I think that when they are found without food handlers permit, they should be prosecuted, and they should be made to pay a fine and be recommended to a facility where they can learn the food presentation.
Thank you for that, Sister Matilda.
Good morning to you both.
Brother Rushin,
Morning. Morning.
Brother Dylan. I
Morning.
think it is really, really important for them to get that food anglers permit because, especially with meat, it is very technical to angle, and angling it out there is a long time. I was saying that they should go and get it. They have to be feeding. They want the money, so they must be equipped. Thank you.
All right, so we have a lot more. Very important for them for food handlers permit. We have to be careful what goes into our stomach. Many will not take responsible for if something is wrong. So we have quite a few to go through, but I'm gonna have to turn things back over to you, Dr. Chisan.
All right, mouthful there and more to come. Thank you very much for those who responded. Interesting comments. I think the first responder had mentioned about money, and I'm seeing someone sending in. Isn't it only $500? So I mean, it's not. It doesn't seem very costly if that is so. All right. I guess the discussions will continue. Thank you, Rasheen.
No problem.
Okay, listeners, as we now segue into the second watch, some of us know the concept of tracking and even use the service on our cars. Some of us use a smart tagging device to find important lost items like car keys and phones or even a handbag. But some smart persons may be using them to track others, usually for no good reason. It therefore comes as no surprise that in an online newspaper article, we're talking about The Guardian, the manufacturer of AirTag, is reportedly warning users not to use the device to track persons. Well, to discuss these developments and, of course, concerns, we have joining us this morning Mr. Trevor Forrest, CEO of 876 Technology Solutions, and Mr. Gordon Ellison, security consultant, managing director of GYD Security Limited, founder and chair of the National Association for the Family. Good morning to you, gentlemen.
Good morning, doctor.
Morning. That's Mr. Ellison. Do we have
Mr.
Forrest online?
Yes, I'm here. Are you hearing me?
Yes, hearing you now. Good to have you both. Trust you are doing well, gentlemen. Let me begin with you, Mr. Forrest. I'm going to begin with the most basic of questions. All right. What really is an ear tag? How does it work? How long has it been in existence?
All right. So an ear tag falls in a category of, what you described before as an item tracker. Ear tags are synonymous with Apple. It's an Apple device. The way it works is, and as you said before, I mean, people use these things to track, items they may lose, car keys, remotes, bags, and so on. The way it works is it uses Bluetooth wireless technology to connect to, your phone. And what you do is when you buy one of these devices, it costs about $30, you pair the device with your iPhone. And this is specifically the AirTag because, there are other types of devices like this that work with, other types of phones, like the Android phone and so on. But you pair the device with your phone, and then you tag, and then you put it on the item that you want to track. And then whenever you can't find the item, you go on your phone and ask the phone to tell you where the device is. And the Bluetooth link between the phone and the device is established, and then the phone literally tells you and directs you to where the item is. Now, because it uses Bluetooth technology, there is a limit as to the range between the phone and the actual AirTag device. So it's about a 30-foot, range that it has. However, one of the things that has been happening is the AirTag is quite unique in how it works. Apple put a lot of capabilities and security into the device, such that if you actually tagged an item and you're outside the range of, the device and your phone, the device will actually try to communicate with you using other phones or other phones that have Bluetooth in close proximity. Now, this is very unique because this does not require GPS, right? What it does is it will detect that its parent phone is not close by, and then it will search for other Apple phones close to it, the Bluetooth on. It will communicate with that phone and say, listen, I'm lost. I'm away from my owner. And it will then tell that phone to communicate with the Apple iCloud. And
I'm
then
so sorry. Mr. Forrest, could you just hold that thought, please? Believe it or not, we're up on a break already. We'll be right back.
Okay.
50 and over, get the best health plan as well as fabulous discounts. Visit ccrponline.org today or call 469-1944 and live life to the fullest. The time by CCRP is
7:46.
If you're a farmer or a fisher folk, this one's for you. Sagicor AgriCare Plan. With AgriCare Plan, you can get affordable insurance coverage for you and your family. Life insurance, critical illness coverage, or health insurance for as little as $1,700 every 3 months. Visit SagicorAgriCare.com to learn more. Farmers and fisher folk, get the insurance coverage your family deserves today with Sagicor AgriCare Plan.
Tropicon Ministers International presents National Women's Conference, May 5th to 7th, right here on the grounds of Tropicon Ministers International, Howard Boulevard, Montego Bay. Women, it's your time to be recharged, refueled, and refired with host Prophetess Mary Wildish, guest speakers Dr. Claudia Cook, and Pastor Jana Alcorn. Thursday, May 5th, 6:30 p.m. Friday, May 6th, 6:30 p.m. and Saturday, May 7th, 10 a.m. Worship by Minister Andrew McCurdy. National Women's Conference, May 5th to 7th at Tropicon Ministers International, Howard Boulevard, Montego Bay. Be there.
The first sound they make is to simply let the world know they're here. And then it's our duty to help them show the world why they're here in the first place.
Give them every advantage with the Guardian Achiever, a plan that provides for their educational dreams and protects their health and life in the process. For more information, call 888-4LIFE to speak to an advisor or visit myguardiangroup.com.
Connect with Brata! Enjoy all your favorite apps and more on Jamaica's fastest network. Activate the Prime Brata bundle for as low as $175 by dialing *147 from your Digicel phone or in the My Digicel app.
Alright, connect with Brata. Digicel Prime Brata. Data can't done.
What would I do without you? You help me carry on, you help me stay strong. Whenever I'm down and can get through, you lift me up again and going all day long. Precious moments we share with you, everything's so right. It's clear, nothing else can compare to the taste that you bring to life. Mom, take it full of life.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint, and in this, the second half of the second watch, we are looking at tag devices becoming tracking devices. And we have online Mr. Trevor Forrest, CEO of 876 Technology Solutions, and Mr. Gordon Ellison, Security Consultant, Managing Director of GYD Security Limited. Before the break, Mr. Forrest, you were telling us about this device. And could you just do in a minute, just wrap up, please, so I can bring in Mr. Ellison to tell us about the security concerns.
Right. So I was just saying the even if the device is far away from the phone that it was paired with, it can actually, connect and notify the owner of where it is, even if the owner is outside of the range of the usable range of the device. It does that by pinging other phones around it and then sending that request to the iCloud, and the iCloud then tells your phone, even if you're 5-6 miles away, where that device is. So that's typically how the device works. If the device is also far away from its owner, it will also notify anybody in the close area by beeping that it is there and that it is far away from its owner. So Apple actually built in capabilities that let you know when such a device is around you, when it is far away from its owner. That's generally how those things work.
Yeah, right. Mr. Ellison, what are the concerns? You're a security expert. What are the concerns, apart from those that were mentioned earlier, or if you want to drill down further into those concerns? And what can persons do to mitigate these occurrences?
All right, thank you for that, Doc. Mr. Forrest, he went in great detail when it comes on to how the AirTags operate. I think one of the greatest threats that, and even if you look at the article, I'll specifically go to the date of the article, which is February 10th. And the expert, Mr. Forrest, he can probably also attest that Apple has since modified how these things function. Because the challenges persons were having, you'd have an AirTag dropped in a female bag, dropped in a car, taped on a car. And when you connect as a victim, you connect to this unknown device, it will know cloud store and cloud alert the owner, who could be, as Mr. Forrest said, wherever. And from the cloud, they can now do a GPS tracking to your cell phone's connectivity to the device. And this has been modified somehow, but there's still a risk because IT is innovative. And once a device has tracking capabilities, it can be found once it is in range. It is also point-worthy to note that the range, 30 feet, 30 to 40 feet, is the general Bluetooth connectivity. So if you are not within that range, you will not be connected to it. So that's one safety feature, and that is very good. I want to also mention that we cannot confuse the tracking of AirTags to the GPS tracking that is also placed on cars. They're separate technology. The Bluetooth or the near field communication requires that level of proximity. You must be close to the parent device. With GPS tracking, that can be done miles. It uses satellite, it uses cellular connectivity. There are different ways in which you can find a car that's 100 miles away. You can track a location that's in another country. And that is because of the cellular connectivity or the GPS connectivity, which Mr. Forrest alluded to. It is when the AirTag connects to your cell phone, then the cellular connectivity notifies the parent. So it's not the AirTag in itself.
Is it?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mr. Ellis.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask, is it that for a lady having her handbag or a man driving his car, is it that you always need to be double checking? Check your handbag all the while, checking your car if this device has been placed there by nefarious individuals?
I wouldn't say double checking, I'd say triple checking. And also looking at a different context of security, which you look at the not just physical security of the item being present, but we also need to understand that we're living in a digital world now, a complex digital world. So security now is not just locking your front door. It's not just checking your car. You also need to be aware of what devices you're connected to. So a search, and I want more persons to be involved in this practice. It may sound It may sound a bit burdensome, but it's necessary. Before you leave any party, any location, move with your car, check a Bluetooth search to see if there are any devices unknown to you where you are. So if you're at
And
a
that's
party,
by the cell phone, use a cell phone for that?
use your cell phone. And there's
an
also
app that you have to download. That's an app you have to download.
There's an app you have to download, or you can use your general Bluetooth. So your Bluetooth will pick up any other Bluetooth that's within 20 to 30 feet range of you. Most of these AirTags may be unknown devices. And if you were at point X and you do a search, and you travel to point Y and you do a search again, clearly that same Bluetooth is within 20 to 30 feet of you. And you're generally safe if it's an AirTag. I will allow the expert to allude to that. But if it's an AirTag or any Bluetooth or near field communication device, you are 100% safe if you do not connect to it, because it needs that cellular location for the parent or the owner of the device to actually track you.
Right.
They can only track an AirTag 800 feet away.
Yeah. Mr. Forrest, yes, go ahead. Come in.
Yeah, so I just wanted to point something out that is critical as it relates to how AirTags specifically work. Now, AirTags are synonymous with Apple phones. And the thing about it is, the apps on these phones, especially the Apple phones come with an app to do pairing with an AirTag, right? And the thing about an AirTag is an AirTag tracking capabilities can't work unless it is paired with an Apple phone. All right, that's the first thing. Now, the thing about that, why that is important, is in Jamaica, we are not heavy users of Apple iPhone.
Right.
I mean, it's a 70-30 split. 70% of our people use Android phones, 30% use Apple phones, right? Now, the thing about it is, it doesn't mean that you may not be around someone with an Apple phone or close to the user of an Apple phone. So what you can do, since the majority of people have Android phones, is there an app on the Google Play Store, which is free, called Tracker Detect. If you download that app on your phone, right, you can actually use that app to detect if an Apple AirTag is in your vicinity. Right, so that's one big thing. So you know, just as was advised, you know, you might go to a party or you may go somewhere and you want to just check. Just download the Tracker Detect on your phone, run a scan, and it will tell you if a device is near. The other thing also is if an AirTag is on your person and far away from its owner, the AirTag will let you know. Because within a certain period of time, if it cannot connect to its parent device, it will sound an alarm. So you will know if such a device is near you. Now, the other thing is the AirTag isn't the only thing you need to worry about, because remember, the AirTag is an Apple-specific device. There's another device called a Tile, and that one is specific to Android phones, right? So it's the other side of the coin that you have, because again, majority of us use Android phones. The thing about these devices is they need the app to connect or to pair to for them to work. So if you don't have the app on your Android phone that has been paired with the Tile, much like the AirTag on the iPhone, then it won't work. If you have the Tile app on your phone, then you will know if such a device is close to you. But the devices need the apps to connect via Bluetooth to be paired. And then the thing with the Apple one is the Apple one, it comes with the phone and it pairs much easier than with the Android phone.
Let me give Mr. Ellison the final word. Mr. Ellison, anything you want to say therefore, based on all that we have said so far and perhaps have not said, anything you'd like to leave with our listeners and viewers?
Yes, I would say download the app, get the app, because I have the app and I did a search and I'm not sure how visible it is.
Yeah,
but
you're actually showing it now on the stream.
Right.
Yes.
There are 5 devices. I'm alone where I'm at. There are 5 Bluetooth devices close to me, and it tells me the distance. And I'm in a big room by myself. Nobody's beside me, but I'm able to detect a Bluetooth device up to 25 meters from where I am. So it is good to get that app. It is very important. And we in closing, I want to remind us that we have to be also digitally aware. Everything is going digital. And so you must, and we all must protect ourselves, not just from physical harm, but from even geotagging of our positions or locations. It is very easy now for somebody to drive past where you are, drop a pin, and visit you next 3 weeks when you're on vacation.
Wow.
So we
have to
need to be
leave it there.
cautious. Yes.
Yes. Well said, gentlemen. Very interesting, very informative, productive day. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, listeners, for being with us on the Morning Watch. Join us again tomorrow as we continue to set the stage for discussion of topical and controversial issues. For information on how to get copies of this program, call our production department at 876-968-959-627. This has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer, Miss Kathy Gale, and our guests. I'm Dallin Toussaint. Hand you back to Love in the Morning with Roshane Douglas.
Thank you, Dr. Toussaint. Have a great day now.
Bless you, my brother.
Beneficiaries enrolled for diabetes can apply online for a glucometer to help manage diabetes. Visit www.nhf.org.jm. The time by the NHF is...
It is now 8:01.